lineup for today's race. Clint Boyer with his first pole of the year. While you look at the starting lineup, Wally's got a little hookup with the man who will lead the field to the green.
See if we can get hold of him. Hey, Clint, this is Wally in the booth. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Wally. Got you.
All right, now most places it really doesn't matter where you start, but I think this place you're in the best spot because it just seems like you need all the air you can get on this race car, as slippery as this place is. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, this track's really slick. It's been slick all weekend. Sitting in a good spot here. We'll see what we got. Just need to try to lead this first lap and 250 laps after that.
You guys really have to talk about a lot of tire strategies today. Have you guys done that too? Are you kind of looking at what's the distance you think you can go on tires before you're going to have to change them?
I just try to drive. I leave that up to Gil, but just going to have to discipline yourself and keep the tires underneath of you. You can't let the car flip up off the corners and spin the tires, but a lot of discipline today.
Well, good luck, man.
So here we go, 250 laps for the NASCAR Busch Series today. Strategy will be big. Last year, strategy won this race for Greg Biffle, who started last. Today, it's Carl Edwards back there in the back of the field.
Another thing he's got to be careful of, Alan, real quick, is not to pinch that car too much, because if he pinches him off too much and that two car slides up into him, he can take them both out.
Talking about Johnny Sauter.
Right.
Well, let's see who gets that top spot into turn one. Here we go.
I think Johnny just went ahead and let him have it. Everybody clean through 1 and 2.
I didn't want to speak too soon on that. I want to let the back of the field get through there first.
I was very optimistic.
Yeah. Here's the race to second. Paul Menard, Johnny Sauter. Menard's going to have it. Clint Boyer leads lap 1. First side-by-side going to be back in 8th position. That's Randy LaJoie on the inside and Brent Sherman in the 10 on the outside.
Now, these cars have gotten single file pretty fast, which I think is a good thing to do, especially early right now. It's just to feel the racetrack out, feel your car out.
Here comes Sherman then going to try the inside. Outside didn't work. I'll do a crossover.
And wait for Randy to maybe tap him, but
that's going on for 8th and 9th places.
And those guys are racing pretty hard right now.
Yeah. Right behind them, Aaron Fike in the 66. Looking to the inside.
Tony Raines on the outside.
Yep, sure is.
33 car.
Oh, he's that way up high. Way up high.
Way up high, and I think he had to back pedal just a little bit.
That's Stan Barrett in the 36. Had that great top 10 finish at New Hampshire last week. David Green, 27. Ashton Lewis, 25. Denny Hamlin, 20. Trying to make some other moves. And this is the champ fighting it out with Casey. That is 6th and 7th places.
And you can see we talked about that groove. I mean, there's a lot of racing room on this racetrack. Almost 3 grooves already through the corner.
Who's that off the pace? Carl Edwards off the pace. Off of turn 2. Left front flat.
And he is going to go a couple laps down.
Yeah, at least. If not more. Right now he's down on the rim and grinding some of those front suspension parts. Well, that's a long way to go for that.
Boy, I guess.
Pennsylvania to Colorado Springs for, what, 5 laps?
And hopefully that tire won't rip apart and rip the fender off, or then he'd really be in trouble.
Of course, Carl, despite missing 1 race, is 4th in the NASCAR Busch Series Championship. So that's pretty costly for he and the team's hopes of keeping their title run alive. And I know that title is still very much in their mind. Casey Atwood getting the 6th position away from Martin Truex, the championship leader. And there is Carl finally reaching his pit, Dave.
And and the crew will lift the car up, trying to get the jack under there. They finally do that. And Carl did a pretty good job of saving that left front fender that you guys mentioned. The pit road speed being slow is important, but they finally get the car jacked up. That's the worst thing about that left front being down, is getting the jack underneath. They will put 2 tires on the car and send it back out. I think he's lost 2 laps already, Alan.
And counting. He's going to be 2 and almost a 3rd lap down by the time he gets that thing up to speed. We'll call it about 2 2/3 laps. So tough luck early for Carl Edwards. You know, got the lucky dog thing. It's early in the race.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, he would be in line for it if we get a yellow here before. I don't think they'll catch him. So if he can just hang in there before somebody else gets lapped, if somebody else gets lapped, then
he's got trouble.
Then he's in big trouble.
This is kind of top 10 pretty well settled out here. This is at the back end of the top 10. Aaron Fike, 66, trying to take the 10th spot away from Tony Raines. Fike sharing this 66 car with Greg Biffle during the NASCAR Busch Series season. And he gets the shot for the next 3 races. And they'll race for 12th here with David Green, 27, inside of Regan in the 58. Talked to David some yesterday, Wally, and was pretty optimistic about their chances here. He's had a lot of success at this racetrack before.
Yeah, he had a good car in practice and was very happy with the setup. Don't forget, this being an impound race, they pretty much qualified what they're racing right now.
Yeah.
So
talking David Green. Lindsay, how about it?
I talked to David Green yesterday, and I was asking him about what he thinks about this track. He says, I love it. It's like Richmond on steroids. He said it's really flat like Richmond, but, you know, a lot more speed that he can pick up here. So we were joking around. He said it's glad that there's no mandatory testing, right?
Yeah. So David losing a spot there as Reagan Smith goes by him for 12th.
Fike and Tony Raines are still going at it pretty hard.
Yeah. Talked about Aaron Fike sharing this race car with Greg Biffle.
He's got the spot.
Yeah. Can you imagine the pressure? And Clint Boyer talked about this a lot as his experience in sharing a car with Kevin Harvick last year. How about you got to share a car with Greg Biffle? So Biffle goes out and does what he does with it. Then you got to come in the next week and try and live up to that standard.
It's a little pressure.
Just a little bit, Dave, huh?
Well, and of course, if you have a track where you have some familiarity, that helps a lot. And Aaron has run here before in the Silver Crown Series, as well as in a midget here in the USAC Series. So he's got laps here, and he told me this morning, even though they were in much different race cars, it has really helped his confidence.
He's doing well so far, up to 10th place for Aaron Fike, young driver out of Galesburg, Illinois. And speaking of doing well, there's your leader, Clint Boyer. He has paced every one of the 13 laps that we've run so far. Carl Edwards, by the way, the first car not on the lead lap. We'll see how that all shakes out when we come back to Pike Peak International Raceway. For the lead, J.J. Haley is going to get it away from Clint Boyer.
Oh, that's pretty impressive right there.
And now for second place, Truex trying to hang in there. Oh, he's getting a little pressure of his own. Bill Elliott's on his back bumper. Not quite.
They're all pretty much at the bottom right now, but then after they get some laps on these tires, they'll all start sliding up.
Got that 4 or 5 laps of field going on.
Goodness, this is not pretty here, folks.
When you watch a race and you say, I feel a caution about to happen,
this is what we're talking about.
That's what it looks like.
Oh, on the apron, is that Stacy?
It's John Wood.
John Wood. Oh, I think he's going to pull it off, too.
No out of bounds line here. It's not Daytona.
Man.
I'll tell you what. Oh, we got one on the wall on the front stretch. Aaron Pike just got squeezed into it momentarily. Managed to hang on to it, but we'll keep an eye on his right front. That came out of that whole pack.
Yeah. Hopefully he didn't get the fender. It doesn't look like it's smoking it. 41 car's made some gains today, hasn't he?
I'll tell you what, Reed Sorensen started 33rd. He's 10th, trying to get 9th.
He's going to get 9th. Works underneath Randy LaJoie and takes that spot. Lindsay, what are they saying about Reed Sorensen's car? Looks like it's pretty fast right now.
It looks pretty good, and this morning I talked to the crew and they said they knew that Reed was going to have a good day because typically he's very, very quiet, but today he was kind of bouncing around the garage. They just brought the car in, they gave him 4 tires, the fuel, and they have gotten their balance issue under control, so they think he's good to go. He's just going to keep taking more track position.
All right. I'll tell you what, Reed is doing a phenomenal job behind the wheel today, too, for a racetrack he never saw, never competed at until he showed up here for practice on Friday. From the back to a top 10 spot.
And a good race car again.
Yeah.
Helps that a lot.
Okay, watch the 66 car on frame left. Squeezed into the wall.
It looks like he got a piece of it twice.
But Pike continues on and is in 16th place on the lead lap. Brandon Miller, 21. Denny Hamlin, 20. That is for 8th and 9th place. Just ahead of Reed Sorensen. 10 car of Brent Sherman, remember, made a green flag pit stop for tires earlier. He's 2 laps down in 30th place.
These guys better not look in the mirror because Reed Sorensen may pass them both.
So Miller's through. Here comes Sorensen. Got to put Miller up to 8th place. Best finish for Brandon Miller so far in his rookie NASCAR Busch Series season. 16th place. Having a good day. Just a little bit farther back, we've got Justin Labonte with a new crew chief this week in the 44. Trying to get a spot away. That is Jerry Robertson in the 78. He's trying to go around. Robertson not on the lead lap. And the racing for position with Justin there. Pike in the 66, right behind him, the yellow car. And a race for 9th as Sorensen tries to get around Denny Hamlin. How about Stacy Compton here, Wally?
Yeah. He's in a backup car. Or no, did they fix? They fixed this car. Yeah, but he went in the wall pretty hard in his qualifying lap. And he has worked his way up to, is that 12?
Yeah, just took 12th place away. Lindsay, crew did quite a job to repair this car.
Man, he is charging up there. I'm in his pit box right now, and Stacy told me yesterday after he did go into the wall that he was really optimistic. You can see, like you said, he just took 12. They did bring him in, and they gave him 4 tires and fuel because they said he was a little bit tight in and loose off, but it doesn't seem like he's having much of a problem.
It's tough to go from the back to the front in any race, especially with a field as competitive as we find in the NASCAR Busch Series these days. But for Stacy to start in the back and pick his way up to being just outside the top 10 right now in a car that was crashed yesterday and repaired overnight with no practice laps on it before they took it back out on the track, that's pretty good effort.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job fixing that car because it looked like a backup car.
Yeah. Yeah, I talked to Stacy this morning over by the car. The crew was just putting the decals on at the finishing touches, and he said really just a lot of sheet metal. It didn't bend anything. They didn't replace any suspension pieces.
Yeah, they were worried about, or he was worried about bending the rear clip, and if you bent the clip, then you would have been in trouble, but they got away with it.
Well, Dave, things have not gotten any better for Carl Edwards, have they?
This is not going to end the way it did for Greg Biffle last year. Brad Barrett, he just spent about 10 laps on pit road. What was his team fixing?
Well, we had the flat tire on lap 6 in a Charter Communications Ford, and it ground the Heim off and just ruined our day. You know, come out here to Denver to Charter's home country and got a whole lot of Charter associates out here watching the race. And told Carl to go have some fun because our day's done now.
Still making laps for championship points?
Yeah, you know, we come here to gain points. We're going to lose it today. We just got to go win some races now.
Remember, that's the purpose for Carl Carl traveling back and forth between series. He wanted to do as well as he could in Nextel Cup, and he wanted to try to win the championship here.
Oh, there's a heck of a race going on right here. Paul Menard and Bill Elliott have been leaning on each other for the last couple laps, and Davis, he's going to take them both.
David Green. Fine job. David up to 4th.
That was good. Nice move.
Johnny Sauter there in the 1 also. So David Green 4th, Paul Menard 5th, Sauter 6th, Elliott back to 7th. David Green started this race in 14th place. We talked about him earlier, how confident he was in his car. He's slowly picking his way up. Here's a kid having a good day.
Yeah,
Brandon
really
Moore.
is. And like you were talking earlier, you know, there's a lot of pressure getting on inside a car like this when Harvick's had so many good runs with it, and you're expected to run good when you get in a car that's been doing well all year.
I talked to Brandon's crew chief, Ricky Vyers, about the young driver and how he's making progress. He said he's got a great attitude. He gives good feedback. And, you know, it's going to take time, especially when you're only racing about once a month through the first half of the season, to get used to the weight, the radial tires, all the things that a driver has to adjust to move from local short track racing up to super speedway racing in the NASCAR Busch Series. He said he's going to be good. Just don't rush to judgment on him. And we're seeing about halfway through this split season with Harvick, maybe things starting to come around here today.
Starting to get a feel for it.
Now David Stremme, trouble.
Another left front.
Second time today for the Navy car. No caution yet.
Got to be a caution with all that grinding going on, no?
No, sir. And so for David Stremme, the 8th place driver in the NASCAR Busch Series standings.
It's going to take a hit.
Yeah. And he may end up with the same fate Carl Edwards had some repairs to fix some of those bolts and pieces that he's grinding off, making his way back to pit road. Race for 9th place. Kenny Wallace in the 22, the white car. Denny Hamlin in the 20.
Takes it.
And Reed Sorensen trying to pick his way through that crowd also. So after Clint Boyer led almost the opening 100 laps of this race, J.J. Yeley blew past him on the last restart. Yeley's opened up a 2-second advantage on Boyer coming up on halfway.
Well, we've got Kenny Wallace in the picture right now, who's turning some pretty fast laps.
Kenny's been faster than the leaders for about the last 10 laps, and look at him closing in on 2nd place Clint Boyer. Let's take you through the front part of the field and see what the crews are thinking about their strategies and their car's performance at this part of the race. Start with the leader, and Lindsay.
J.J. Yeley came in on lap 160. He is sitting pretty right now. They changed his 4 tires. He's got 1 set lap, by the way, guys. And they told me earlier, expect them to come in again on lap 190 or 195. When they did bring him in earlier and give him those tires, they also took a ½ pound out of the left rear. They said he is good to go on fuel. To Dave in the 2 car.
Clint Boyer needed a good run this week after finishing 16th at Loudon last week. They are getting it, but can he win the race? They made an air pressure adjustment to try to help this car turn a little less well. It's a little bit loose, and hopefully that will get it toward the front. Lindsay?
The 22 car of Kenny Wallace has moved up to 2nd place. They brought him in. They gave him 4 new tires, changed air pressure a bit. He also has 1 set left, and he says he's feeling a little bit too loose, but he should be okay, guys.
Boy, Kenny Wallace is it's like he was shot out of a cannon. The last 4 or 5 laps I've been watching his times, and he just picked up the top 2 spots in the last couple laps.
2 guys that have done all the leading today. Went by Clint Boyer, went by J.J. Yeley. Wow. So with 64 laps to go, new leader Kenny Wallace.
Got a new sponsor on the car.
Yeah, it's a 1-week deal.
1-week deal, but
they're trying to patch things together
into more week deals.
You're trying to help him out here.
I'm trying to help him out, yeah.
There you go, and he appreciates that, by the way. So Kenny Wallace becomes the 4th leader of this race. Kenny with 2 runner-up finishes so far this season. It's been a long time since Kenny's been to victory lane in the NASCAR Busch Series. How long, you asked?
I was going to just ask that.
I appreciate it.
Oh, we got trouble up in 1 and 2.
Car on the wall. Blake Feast in the 5 and Jerry Robertson in the 78. And the caution flag is out.
Now what do you do, Alan?
Yeah.
You can't come in and put tires on.
By the way, how long since Kenny Wallace won a race?
Yeah,
How about it's November 2001.
He's hungry.
Yep. 4th caution of the race. Blake Feast in the Hendrick Motorsports 5. One of their development drivers, and 2nd incident of the day for Jerry Robertson in the 78.
I can't tell from that angle. They were 2 cars very close.
I think Blake kind of got left reared here.
No, it looks like Robertson lost it. Well, he got left rear, but he lost it. Saved it. Well, Blake had a lot to do with the saving it.
8 tires are better than 4.
But unfortunately, Blake at the short end of the stick on that one.
Yeah. And so, with 61 laps to go in this race, do you pit and take on your last set of tires? Do you stay out, hope for another caution? What do you do? And especially if you're the leaders team.
Are you asking me for my personal opinion?
Yeah. What do you do? Quick.
How many laps do we have left?
61. Be 60 right here.
You got to come in and get tires.
Okay. Let's see. Here comes the commitment line. Bill Elliott. Nope, he's going to come in too. Most of the front runners on pit road. 60 laps to go. Lindsay, you're first.
I am, and JJ Yaley's coming in. I told you guys before, they had said they were not going to. This is their last set of tires. They bring him in, they will give him this last set. They will also add fuel. Now the Kenny Wallace's 22 car has come in. Same plan there. They are also going to add on the last set of tires. That's what the crew chief had just told me when I was talking to him. They'll give him fuel also today.
Left front was a problem for Clint Boyer. They're taking air back out so the car will turn better. As for the 8 of Martin Truex Jr., it was tight from the middle to the off part of the corner. They will make an adjustment for that as well. For Martin to send him back out, they didn't think they could win the race unless they made those adjustments. Stickers for Truex, scuffs for Boyer.
Oh, that's going to be interesting to see now how that. We speculated. And
Yeah.
we'll see how it works.
And a shuffle in the running order up front off pit road. Clint Boyer out first. Aaron Fike out second, followed by Yaley, Truex, and then Kenny Wallace all the way back to 5th. Here we go.
Yep, like I said, passing on both sides.
Gotta make it through the corner first.
That's a big restart for Clint Boyer right there. Put as much distance between him and 2nd place. Well, really, the guy he's got to worry about is the 18.
Yaley's kind of pinned right now. Aaron Fike and Hamlin. Kevin Hamlin racing side by side. Yaley's pinned in. Here comes Truex. Is he going to make it 3 wide?
He thought about it.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, it's going to be 4 wide here in a second.
Yaley through the center. And Truex down low.
And that's the thing, you got different guys on different tires, and obviously in a place like this, we all know that 4 new tires is going to be the way to go. It gets pretty intense on a restart.
I'll tell you what, you talked about it earlier, but the restart huge for Clint Boyer because he's gapped J.J. Yaley by a 2nd and a 3rd right now. And he needs to run and hide for all he can.
And he's in clean air. He's out there by himself, so he's sitting pretty right now.
There's Kenny Wallace still hung behind Aaron Fike. David Green also racing for a spot. That's 5th, 6th, and 7th. 38 is Tyler Walker, not on the lead lap. And Bill Elliott also in the mix there in 8th place in the 64.
Miller, Sauter right there, one in the 21. Side by side.
And Wallace going to slide through around Fike for 5th place.
But by this time, he's probably going to be a couple seconds back.
Oh, yeah. He's given up a half a straightaway. 3 seconds. And now Kenny Wallace underneath Kevin Hamlin.
Ooh, bum in the back here.
Little
Brandon Miller, yeah, slid way up. Don't know if he got run into or what, but he lost about 6 spots right there in just one corner.
All those cars right there were for position. He was 9th. Let's see where he comes back around here. How about 14th? Okay, so when Wallace says ooh,
we tried to replay it so you could see what it was all about. It's like the one car got in the back of him, and he just had to save it and check up, and here comes the rush.
Stacy Compton says, thank you very much. I'll take those 4 spots.
Yeah, that was a gift.
In that 59 car. So Miller kicked back to the 14th spot, and while this is going on the track, Blake Feast has gone to the garage. Lindsay's with it.
Blake Feast, I asked you what happened. You said, I don't even know. Do you have any clue after talking to your crew?
I mean, the 78 and I were kind of battling, but when we were terrible all day, and we were getting it better, but I tried giving him room, and I don't know. I think maybe he got loose under me. They said, I don't know. I'll have to look at the replay. It's just 2005 has been terrible. I hate it for all the Lowe's guys and everybody at Shopback that makes this happen, and you know, it's just, it keeps coming, so we'll just do what we can do. Look forward to 2006, I guess.
Guys?
Man, this is good stuff right here.
Yeah.
Sauter isn't really finding a whole lot of room, so he's trying to make some room.
And you got the lap car of Tyler Walker there in the middle of this, and everybody else in that group, everybody in that group is racing for position on the lead lap. Compton in 59, Sauter in 1, Sorensen in 41, Hamlin in 4, Menard in 11. And this is all from 9th place, check that, 8th place on back.
Sauter is trying to squeeze through, just hasn't found the room yet. Probably run out of patience with the 38 pretty quick, like right now. The 38.
Yeah, here we go. 3 wide.
38, yeah, needs to slide up and let these guys go.
Yeah, next guy that's racing for position with Tyler Walker is Jorge Getters. Yeah, he's a little bit behind it. While we're watching this, up front, J.J. Ailey, who's shaken free of traffic. He's closing in on Clint Boyer. And last lap by.
Yeah, let's not write him off yet.
Last lap by, Kenny Wallace had the fastest time of all of your top 5. So this may not be over yet. We'll have to see. This could get interesting if this thing stays green to the finish. There's Kenny. That is 2.73 seconds behind the leader, and the leader's got company.
Yeah, and he's made up almost a second in traffic. He's been passing cars and making up time on the leader. But up front, we may have a change for the lead.
On that last set of pit stops, Clint Boyer put on some tires that had a couple laps on them. J.J. Ailey put on a set of sticker tires. Is that going to be the difference? I mean, we've run, what, 8 or 9 laps now?
Yeah, but don't forget,
that last restart.
The 2 car, you know, had a great restart, so he didn't have anybody even close to him up until this point. So that may have saved him a little bit, having those tires, you know, with a couple laps on them.
Yeah. Here's the move. Diving into 3. Left side's on the apron. Not quite.
Right, no.
Not quite.
To just back off a little bit, getting out the corner so he wouldn't run into Boyer. But I think eventually he's going to work him over to where he's going to get the spot.
And the more these guys get side by side, the better Kenny Wallace and Martin Truex like it, because they chopped off a whole lot of ground just in that little bit of side by side racing between Boyer and Ailey. I mean, look, you could see Truex in the frame there already. Gonna try him again.
Yeah. and that's going to put Truex on their back bumper here in about 2 laps if they run side by side through one more corner.
Clint Boyer picked up his first NASCAR Busch Series win earlier this year at the Nashville Superspeedway. J.J. Yaley yet to score for the first time in this division. Now being chased down by the series champ and the driver who's won the most races this year, Martin Truex Jr., a 5-time 2005 winner.
They're all going to have to contend with that 22 car before this is over.
Watching those lap times, are you?
Kenny Wallace has been running a couple tenths of a second faster a lap than the 3 cars ahead of him.
And Truex is closing in, Dave.
And they've been trying to pump him up. He radioed 5 laps into this run. This car is plowing. Crew Chief Kevin Mannion radioed back, "We're sorry, you got to go to the end on these. You'll have to save us again, driver. By the way, they like the way you plowed that field in New Hampshire last week."
Yeah, Martin was talking about his car's handling woes last week, and he wound up charging up to the front late and winning the race. So maybe it's in the cards again today. 38 to go. Need a break. Clint Boyer leading. J.J. Yaley second. Martin Truex closing in third. Can Kenny Wallace get up there and make it a 4-way fight to the win? Back to Pikes Peak in a minute. Yaley, now Truex have cleared the traffic.
That's still a good restart for everybody. I mean, at 22 now, Kenny Wallace only has to worry about the 47 car of John Wood. So that was a pretty clean restart for all these guys racing.
And now the top 4 clear of the lap traffic. And 24 laps to try and get it done. Interesting to see Yaley right down on that line around the inside of the corner, and Boyer and Truex up off the bottom a little bit.
These guys are searching right now. They're searching for grip, where they need to run for their race car the way it's set up. That's why you're seeing all these different lines right now. They're all looking.
How about the leader, Dave?
They told Clint Boyer, go out there and win the race. Hug the bottom, keep the revs up, and by the way, don't key the mic. I think that tells them, you know, you've got what you got. Just go do it, Clint. Lindsay?
You're looking at Crew Chief Jason Ratcliffe for J.J. Yaley. Right now, he's got the thinker pose going on because they're trying to figure out what they can do to get around Clint Boyer. They, of course, have their stickers on. J.J. had said the car is a little bit loose up, but good for this team as the laps have winded down. They have tended to get tighter, so they're hoping that that continues.
Right now, those top 2 have put a little gap on Truex and Kenny Wallace. Boyer and Yaley getting away just a bit.
Yeah, it seems the 22 though seems like it runs better after they've run some laps. So we'll see if that holds true.
He lost some ground there off that corner.
Sure did. Looked like he pushed on that one.
Yaley stalking Boyer. Unmentioned in this, David Green solidly in 5th place right now. Next car behind him will be Bill Elliott. There's David. And Elliott trying to track him down. Right now, it's all about the guys up front. Clint Boyer, J.J. Yaley. Everybody's on equal footing where tires are concerned, with the exception of the couple laps that Boyer had on the set he put on, though he's managed to hold the lead through, I would imagine, any advantage he had there.
It looks like the 2 cars maybe a little bit better in 1 and 2, and it looks like the 18 of J.J. Yaley's a little bit better in 3 and 4. Looks like Yaley, we got a career problem there.
A.J. Fike, Aaron's older brother.
Where he left it. Still on there?
Still on there, yeah. Okay. He's creeping down onto that access road and away from the racing surface, and we stay under green. I meant the disadvantage that Boyer might have had, by the way, in the first couple laps in the tire difference. Right now, he's pulling away a little bit.
It looks like Yaley's car is gotten a little bit tighter coming off the corners. And now we see Kenny Wallace. After a few laps, it seems like he starts reeling these guys in.
Boyer eased away. Now Kenny Wallace and Truex closing on Yaley for second. And Wallace to try and challenge Truex here for third. Not quite. This race has had its stretches. One car out in front for long periods of time. The pit crews have been crucial on the day. The cars that have had the chassis set up to handle for the long haul, which really paid off, because these guys you're looking at have been the front runners for most of the day. Kenny Wallace was in the top 10 for a lot of the day. A latecomer to the top 5, if you will, but Boyer, Yaley, and Truex, they've been right there for almost the entire distance.
Kenny was going to get under the 8 car that time. The Truex slid way up the racetrack in turn 4. Kenny Wallace still trying to run the bottom.
Yeah. A little bit farther behind, this is a race for 10th place. Brandon Miller trying to squeeze around Paul Menard, and he is able to hang on to that spot. And that all going on about 6 seconds behind this race for the lead. Hey, David Green closing in on this group.
If these guys start racing and getting side by side, well, not only is it going to help David Green, but it's also going to help the 2-car Clint Boyer just drive away.
And by the way, the guy on the fresher tires, Kevin Hamlin, he's only picked up a couple of spots since the restart, so he's not going to magically appear in this top group here as we run out these final 15 laps. So a new player as we track fastest laps. David Green, quickest of this front 5 last time by. There's the gap, though, from Boyer back to this group as Clint continues to pull away.
David's going to try the high side. Gets up alongside Kenny.
Going to be 4th place there. So Wallace kicked out of the picture now, back to 5th, and David Green next to try and challenge Martin Truex for 3rd. And a long, tough season for the former series champion David Green.
David's car looks really, really good getting into the corners.
He's probably going to wish this was a 300-lap race. The speed he's got compared to these other guys, but only 12 laps to go. He might have enough to get the 2 in front of him, but it's a long way up to Clint Boyer right now. It looked like he had his hands full coming up off that corner.
Yeah, it looks like I said, it looks like he's picked up a push pretty bad. Truex is going to try to get underneath. Yeah, Yaley's car is really sliding up the racetrack right now.
For 2nd place. And Martin Truex, the championship leader, is through. Well, not quite. Couldn't hook it up off the bottom.
They were close there.
3 wide here, 3 wide. David's looking.
Yep, very nice.
Opportunistic driving. Let's see if he can finish the deal here. David Green through to 3rd place.
Well, he's going to get Yaley too. Yaley really pushed hard getting off of turn 2 there. He's going to lose that 2nd spot.
How about David Green, Mr. Burns?
David did something he always does at the tracks. He takes the rookies around and shows them the place and helps them drive this track. He said, you know, sometimes that's burned me. Guys like Brian Vickers have gotten really good and sort of beat me after I do that. One guy that he took around this weekend for sure in a rental car was Clint Boyer. Clint may win this race.
David's to 2nd, but the problem is the gap that you see up to Clint Boyer. That's a 2.5 seconds. And he's only got less than 8 laps to go here this time by. Still, best finish of the season by far for David Green. Well, how about this guy Clint Boyer here, Wally, huh? Picked up his first win back in June. And you talk about a command performance today. Boyer has led 146 of the 242 laps that we have run so far. Dominant so far.
Car's been good.
Yeah.
Very good all day. And he's been at the right spot all day, too. That's up front.
Won the pole, led the opening run of the race up to lap 96. And just after the restart at lap...
Oh, wow. As they're bouncing off each other pretty hard right now. Truex and Yaley bouncing off each other, getting off of turn 2. And here we go.
A little through wide.
Okay, Wallace is going to pick up 2 spots on that one.
Oh,
let's see if he can hang on to it.
Yeah. Yes, he will.
Good racing right there.
Hey, David Green is closing quickly on Clint Boyer. He is closing quickly. He's cut that deficit in half in a couple laps, Waller. This is going to be close.
Yeah.
The rate he's closing, it's going to be tight at the checkers. Look at it. That's half what it was a minute ago.
Well, he's 0.2 of a second faster that lap.
And 0.8 of a second behind with 5 laps to go.
It's going to be pretty close. Meanwhile, these 2 guys are going at it.
Yeah.
Yaley and Truex.
And that'll be for 4th and 5th now instead of for 2nd that it was
Wow,
a while
Truex
ago.
is in the dirt up there.
Yaley's not giving him much room, is he? Not that he should.
Nope. 5 or 6 laps to go. The give and take decreases.
Steve Grissom's car pulling down low in turn number 2, showing smoke. He's trying to turn it off the racetrack, so the race finishes under green. Nice sportsmanship there on the part of Mr. Grissom toward the fans. And now 3 laps to go. David Green make it 5 car lengths in closing on Clint Boyer.
Going to be tight.
This is going to be close.
Fortunately for Boyer, there's really no traffic in front of him. Wow, look at the 27 car just make up all that ground getting into the corner. I'm telling you, that car gets in better than anybody out there right now.
Here he comes for the race lead, coming to 2 laps to go.
Wow, that is strong.
Side by side.
Don't see any problem as good as this car has been getting into the corner. Ooh, pinching. That could be trouble.
Doing all he can to try and protect the win. Lap cars ahead. Johnny Sauter back out of the garage in front of the leaders. They'll be coming to the white flag. David Green rides hard.
Wow.
And by for the lead, coming to the white flag. Fans on their feet here in Colorado Springs. 1 lap to go for David Green. What a rally. Boyer's trying to get to him if he can. But that is not going to work. In fact, Boyer had to jump out of the gas there, try to drive it hard off a 2, and David Green got away.
Maybe David didn't show him everything this time.
It's been a long time since David Green's won a race. October 2003, Kansas City, but he's done it in Colorado Springs today. David Green leads only 2 laps on the day, the last 2. And he's the winner at Pikes Peak.
Good stuff.
What a finish.
Boyer's got to be devastated.
Was that a mad drive up alongside, or was that a congratulations?
That's got to be a congratulations. David is a very clean race car driver. If you want to race somebody the last 2 laps of a race, he's one of the top 5 guys I would.
Well, you know, and something to think about here too, Wally. These guys put their last set of tires on at 55 to go. Okay, David Green is so smooth. You talked about the driver saving his tires. Obviously, David had more left at the end of the day.
Yep, the veteran came through.
Lindsay.
I'm here with Stuart Cooper. Stuart, that was unbelievable. Describe that to me.
I don't know what to say right now, but man, first of all, I want to thank God. He has blessed us with such a great race team, a great sponsor, CleanX, John Cook, everybody at Kimberly-Clark. Man, they have stuck with us. We've had a tough season. We had some bad luck. We got a young group of guys, and man, they're learning. They're working hard. Same car we wrecked at Loudon, and just unbelievable. I'm so proud of my guys. And David Green, man, what an awesome job. victory lane is on the front straightaway here at Pikes Peak. A brew bath for David Green, who has not won in 60 races and only leads the most important lap plus one more. Now a big chance to celebrate with his boys. David, you told me this morning that there had been times when you'd given away too much to the rookies when you drive them around the track. Well, you drove Clint Boy around this track. Did you save something you didn't tell him?
No, those boys have been on the game all year, and we've had a frustrating year. But you know what, Stuart, right here, come here, Stu. First year as a crew chief, we had a body change, a manufacturer change, and this boy never gave up, and I never gave up, and the critics were hard on us all the way up to right now. But you know what? This might settle a little bit of that talk, but I want to say hi to John Cook, Kimberly Clark. They've been in the sport 12 years. This is the kind of win they deserve, and I'm proud to be able to drive this Kleenex Supra Mark Ford to the victory lane, and for Ford, our first year with Ford.
David, at what point did you know that you had a winning race car?
I think I did yesterday, and we had an early draw for qualifying, and the track had that other rubber on it, and I knew we wouldn't get a good qualifying run. But I didn't want to see another caution. Our car in the long run was very, very good. But I knew we've had a good car a lot of times this year. Greg Biffle's kind of stole some of our limelight. He's been on top of his game all year, and he's made our team better. So thanks to Clarence and Tammy for giving me another opportunity here. And for Kleenex and Ford and all of our great sponsors, the Postal Service, Royal, Valvoline, everybody involved. You got to say hi to Diane and the kids. They missed another victory, but we got one here today.
The number 27 Brewco team puts it all together today.